Well, back in 2011, a video popped up. You can probably still see it over on YouTube of an Al Qaeda spokesman. He was actually an American-born Al Qaeda spokesman, but he was a spokesman for Al Qaeda. Adam Yahya Gaddan. And in this video, he says, and I quote, "America is absolutely awash with easily obtainable firearms. You can go down to a gun show at a local convention center and come away with a fully automatic assault rifle without a background check and most likely without even having to show an identification card. So, Al-Qaeda members, what are you waiting for?" Seriously, this is an Al-Qaeda video from 2011. So in May, the Republicans in the House Judiciary Committee voted down an amendment that would have prevented those on the terrorist watch list from buying guns. So you can't get on a plane if you're a terrorist, but you can buy a gun. And, you know, increasingly we're hearing calls from the right for not giving them lawyers, but yeah, sure, let them buy guns. Maybe Noel Flasterstein can help us make some sense out of this. He's an attorney. He's the host of The Gun Show. Gunrightsforyou.com is his website. Noel, this seems to me insane. Noel?
Insane, I'm here. Insane in terms of Adam Gaddan's video or the legislator going down the proposed amendment?
It seems to me, first of all, your phone seems to be breaking up. I'm not sure if you know what it's got a funny noise in it. We may have to call you back, but in any case, insane in that we're saying to terrorists, no, you can't get on a plane, but yes, you can go to a gun show and buy all the guns you want. Why would we do that?
Well, I think in terms of security, when we're looking at the overall public safety of individuals that can come and go on airplanes, maybe there's, not constitutional protections that are in play, whereas in firearms, there's definitely a Second Amendment that permits every American citizen. It does not authorize and allow terrorist members or members of a terrorist organization or group to go and, purchase firearms. And I think what we're looking at is because, not everybody that gets on that terror watch list is named Thomas. Some of them are named Dan Smith and, Lord knows what else. We are quite the cultural mixture of people.
Well, let's fix the watch list. But are you suggesting that we don't have a constitutional right to travel? Are you suggesting that there's no constitutional right to travel in the United States? That we live in like East Berlin, like you need to get the permission of the police to go from your house to the store?
I'm not suggesting that there isn't any constitutional right to it, but what I am suggesting that when in terms of matter and safety and concern, I think our legislatures have probably looked at it in terms of if we limit a couple of individuals' ability to travel based on some suspicions we have without a court procedure, I think that's a little bit different than when we say, hey, this thing which is emblazoned and embodied in the Second Amendment of every citizen.
That has the phrase well-regulated in it.
I think there's a little level more scrutiny because if you say I can't fly in the plane, well, you know what? What's to stop me from getting in my car? But if you say I can't own a firearm to protect myself, well, I guess I'd have to get a knife.
Not if you're a terrorist.
Some other method to
Neil, can you hear me?
Myself, which may not be as
he can't hear me.
As needed or as much as I'd like.
Neil, when you're talking, if I try to talk, you can't hear me, right? It's not that you're ignoring me; it's that you genuinely can't hear me.
Probably. I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but it seems for some reason, I don't know if maybe it's the limiting software on the phone hybrid. We gotta do something about this. So anyway, my point was, if you have a problem with the terrorist watch list, let's fix the terrorist watch list. And if you think that there should be a judicial process, and frankly, I would agree with you on that, before somebody gets put on the terrorist watch list and denied the right to travel, let's associate a judicial process with that. But that's That's an independent issue from whether somebody on a terrorist watch list should be allowed to walk into a gun show and walk out with 50 AK-47s.
Well,
why do you want terrorists to be able to buy, literally, a truckload of guns?
Well, you got to remember, this is. I would agree with you. There should be a judicial process with the terror watch list, but I don't even know what the standard or the level of scrutiny or what it takes to even be placed on the terror watch list. It may simply be a phone call from a concerned citizen, or it may be simply a phone call from an angry ex-spouse or an angry neighbor. Who knows what that level is?
I think if it was that simple, you'd have a whole lot of people being very, very PO'd at airports, and you would be hearing local news reports every single day about, some guy who showed up who couldn't get on an airplane because his ex-wife or his girlfriend or some woman whose stalker husband put her on the list or whatever. I mean, that would, if that was the case, if it was that easy, we would be hearing about these abuses left and right. And I mean, this is just common sense.
Well, how many firearms have been purchased from gun stores, and how many firearms?
Well, we know according to
the terrorists have obtained.
Noel, we know that according to the Government Accountability Office, suspected terrorists, these are people who are not only on the terror watch list, but also the FBI thinks actually are terrorists, purchased firearms or explosives from licensed dealers 1,300 times over the course of the last 8.5 years.
And I understand because our federal government, gives them to the drug cartels down in Mexico.
No, that's not the case. Those. If you're talking about the program that started under the Bush administration, that under Obama became what's it called?
Furious.
Fast and Furious. Yeah. If you're talking about that, that's a program that was the result of the state of Arizona passing a law that said that if you buy a gun from a registered gun dealer, it has to be for your own use. But you can change your mind as soon as you walk out of the store. And so the drug dealers hire what are called straw purchasers. They go into the stores, they buy 40, 50 guns, they walk out of the store, they say, gee, I guess I'm not going to use them anymore, and they sell them to the drug dealers who then drive them down to Mexico. And because Jan Brewer and the Republicans in Arizona made it illegal for the government to stop that from happening, what the Obama and the Bush administrations were trying to do was at least keep track of them, follow them, because they had no legal ability to stop it because Arizona had passed this, the Republicans in Arizona had passed this law saying, no, sorry, you have to sell these guns to straw purchasers. And, this was ending straw purchasers was something that the Republicans filibustered a week or two ago as well. But that's a whole other thing also. This whole thing just blows my mind. You want to give terrorists guns, but you don't want to give them lawyers. You want to give them guns, but you don't want them to fly on airplanes.
Not at all.
I don't get it.
Guns. But I don't want to deny law-abiding American citizens their right to exercise their Second Amendment and claim, hey, we're trying to stop terrorists from getting guns. There's much better ways to handle it. As far as straw purchases go, I mean, that's illegal, whether it's done in Arizona, Florida.
It is not illegal in Arizona, and that's why Fast and Furious was down there, because you can change your mind under Arizona law in a second. In 1 second, you can change your mind about personal use. It is not illegal. Noel Flasterstein.